All right, so we're going to look at how to use a Google form to make a personalized learning path or a choose your own adventure type of experience for students. The first step you want to do is actually have a plan for what the different paths are that they're going to be taking. And each of those paths need to have main sections that are built first. Make sure that you give them titles like you see here in purple. It'll be a bold title. And then under that, you'll create an untitled section for each question, and I'll show you what that means. And you just need to delete the untitled part of the section, or it will say untitled section whenever they view it, which you don't want. And you can only use two types of questions whenever you're building this type of path form. Multiple choice or drop down questions are the only options because they are only a one answer selection question. And so that's going to kind of tell the form and the algorithm, okay, this equals that. It's only one answer. So that's why these are the only two options that you can use in this type of form. You want to select the three stacked dots in the bottom right of each question, and I'll show you what that is in just a second. And you'll go to the section based on answer whenever you're there. Do not set the form to be a quiz. If you do that, then when they submit the quiz, they will see every question that is on the form, including any questions they didn't receive on their own path. So it can be very overwhelming and confusing. So you don't want to do that. You can still set all of the questions in the form to be required so that they still have to answer all of the questions in order to move forward. It won't make them go back and do questions on a different path because it only makes them do the questions in each section that they are sent. Okay, so here's an example of a personalized path or choose your own adventure type of form. I use this sometimes for even direct instruction or an entire lesson if I want them to kind of assess what each individual student already knows and put them on a path to increase their knowledge based on what gaps they have. So every student is different, as we know. We want to personalize their learning by not teaching them something they already know how to do, but pushing them to learn more than they already know. So just because one student doesn't know something doesn't mean that the other students should all be held back from learning. So here we have a personalized path example on teaching long division. So, I ask for their name, and the first step is really understanding estimation. How many times a number can go into another number just by estimating in their head. So this question asks them that. Okay, so here you'll see that this is a multiple choice question. I have it set to required. This is the first question to set off each student into their own path. So as you can see, 3 is the correct answer, and that will send them to the next section on multiplication if they select that answer. The other choices here are, it will send them to a section I've created for review on estimation. And the way that you choose the go to section based on answer part is with those 3 dots right here. You select that and then you select this, and your options change. So now you have go to section based on answer, and you just select which section they're going to go to. So they're going to go to review estimation if they get it wrong. And you can see right now that it is a quiz, but I'm going to change that because we do not want it to be a quiz. We do not want them to see all of the answers whenever they're finished. So I'm going to change that. Okay. But as you can see, my options are still there and it is still required. So what's going to happen is if they get the answer right, they're going to move on to this next section on multiplication. Okay. So they know how to estimate. that question. Good. Let's move on to multiplication. So here we have a simple multiplication problem. If they get this answer correct, then they go to a subtraction problem because that's the next step in long division. You estimate a division, you multiply by your estimation, and then you subtract and so forth. So if they get it wrong, they will review basic multiplication here in this section. So let's say they get it right, they go on to subtraction, okay, and they do a basic subtraction problem. If they get that right, then they move on to long division. Now, once they get here to simple long division, we'll see if they can do it. If they can't do it, then they will go to review long division, and that's where you'll see the review problems later. Maybe they already know how to do long division. Okay, so then we're going to take it up a notch. From here, we had a 3-digit by a 1-digit number. Here we've got 3-digit by 2-digit. So I'm making it a little bit more rigorous each time they go to the next section. Okay, so if they get that correct, I'm going to move them on to advanced long division with a remainder. And I'm assuming that they have not been taught this at this point, and so I've included a video here and then a question so they can be taught that information. Okay, and here you'll see the review sections that they would be sent to where they have videos and a redo problem that is different. Now, if they get these wrong, they will be sent to an intervention reteach section. And that's down here. So they've now missed 2 questions in a row. The first question, and then they were sent to the review section, and then they missed that one as well. So they really don't understand whatever part of this process they're on. So this is when they will actually meet with the teacher one-on-one to address the specific piece of this lesson that they don't understand. So this is giving them individualized attention at this point while other students are working through this lesson. So we've got each section here where they can say, all right, I didn't understand this. It sent me to intervention for this particular piece. They'll select that, and then they will submit this assignment afterwards. It's also good to have an extension activity for anybody that finishes all these steps ahead of time. This will give them something that they can complete and work on that extends their knowledge, pushes their thinking a little bit, and is a little bit more rigorous. So it can be error analysis, it could be showing their learning to a peer, it could be, visually showing steps how to solve something. So this is a really great activity for whenever they finish. So you can build this very similar outline with a choose your own adventure type of thing where it's more opinion or engagement with just choice factors here. So it doesn't have to be a right or wrong math question. It could be a choice here. And then you just send them to the section that they choose, but you need to think about the purpose for each choice and where it's going to lead them on their path. The way that you build these is just to create sections here. So add a section. Let's say I'm right here. Let's add a section. You'll give it a title if it's a main section like reviewing or whatever, review, and you'll add a question under it. Remember, it has to be multiple choice or drop down because those only have one answer options. And then I'm just going to add all of these. Question, and then you'll click here these 3 dots. Remember to make it required if you want them to absolutely answer it. In order to move on, you can shuffle the option order here. Go to next section would be here, but you want to lay out all these main sections first. And if you want to add additional questions within a section on a path, then you will add a blank section. It's going to say untitled section unless you just delete it. See where it says optional now? That's good. That means it's not going to show up as anything. Okay, and then let's just add question 2, and it's multiple choice, and we've got true or false. Okay, so now if I'm going to go to the next section here, let's say this is one of the choices, then notice that I'm on section 14. If I'm going to go to the next section, obviously that's 15, or I can send them and say, okay, you're done, submit the form. But maybe this one I want them to go all the way back to review multiplication. You can select which path you want them to go to from here. So really get creative with it. Have fun making stories out of it. The kids are going to love it.